Hello you guys, my name is Vika and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a review on the beautiful FENTY Galaxy palette. This is the box that it comes in. Here's the actual palette. Very reflexive so you can see everything. And it has the names on the back. Let's pop it open. There's that inside. It's got a big mirror and gorgeous eyeshadows. Look at those colors. They're so pretty. Of course, I was a little bit bummed out at the fact that they're all shimmering, but I still wanted to try. I love trying out new products, especially a new brand on the market. Gotta try. Usually, the brand will make it or break it based on an eyeshadow palette or foundation. Those are the two things that I usually gravitate towards. So I decided, let me try the eyeshadows first, and I bought it a few days ago. It arrived looking all fancy, and I did two tutorials, this one and this one. I'll make sure I leave the links below so you guys can watch them, how they work, blend and whatnot. So let's talk about the actual product. First of all, I'm a little bit disappointed that there's no matte to this beautiful palette. There's no matte eyeshadows. So it's kind of hard to get a whole look just from the one palette. So I gotta grab another palette to get an actual look done just with this palette. So that's a bit of a downside. When applying them to my eye, they go on pretty sheer, so I have to really build them or use them wet. It's difficult to work with them applying them just as they are. They need to be wet or have a really sticky primer. Otherwise, they go on really patchy. Shadows themselves, not all, but a couple are really gritty. Like, they have a lot of chunks inside of them, so it's hard to get them nice and smooth, because in some areas they'll apply the chunky pieces and some it'll swipe very sheer, so it is quite difficult to work with them. But if you get them wet, they actually go pretty nicely. Try to apply them just dry. They kind of like poof all over your face and you just have sparkles on your entire face. It's very difficult to work with them. The fallout is like crazy. There's a lot of sparkle to the eyeshadow, but not enough of the actual color. So when they go onto your lid, they go on very sheer with a lot of sparkle, but it's just not a pretty look overall. They are kind of dry, so they do produce a lot of kick up, and it's kind of really annoying. When I apply a color onto my lid, it will almost always transfer up into my crease. So I gotta make sure that my application is on point and that I go high enough with one color, so when I open my lid opens up as far as it'll touch on the upper crease. Like, if I were to do my cut crease a little bit lower, when I would open my eye, it would transfer over the cut crease. And that's not a cute look, because it looks like you just have sloppy application. Overall, it's a bit of a disappointment for $59. I mean, the holographic packaging is quite amazing, but the product itself is a big disappointment for me, which kind of breaks the brand. I don't know if I'm gonna want to try other products from it, but for $59 I kind of expected it to be pretty amazing, I must say. But it's a new brand, so you're not bound to start perfect, so I might be a little bit forgiving and try something else. But I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them so you can see how well they apply. So I'm going to apply them with a brush to prime skin. For priming, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Potion. And I'm going to apply them with a brush, just a regular synthetic brush. And in between, I'm going to clean my brush into this little sponge. Okay, now that we have our area primed, let's get some swatches done. So the first one that I'm grabbing is Extraterrestrial, and it's this dark green, and I'm gonna pick up a lot. Next is Lightyear. And we have Planet X, Ozone, let's try that again, Ultraviolet, then we have Sublime. Next is Milky Way. Next is Cosmic Ocean. Meteor Crush. Then we have Jupiter Sand. Mars on Fire, Midnight Bolt, Space Out, Sunburst. Okay, out of all this color range, I really like the Milky Way, which is a beautiful highlight right here, and Midnight Bolt, which is this blue one. The rest were kind of a nightmare to work with. In terms of applying them onto eyes and blending them, it was difficult. But this makeup look, I decided to go and prime it with a dark base, and it actually came out pretty nice. If you guys want to see it, I'll link it below. I'm gonna try and apply it wet. I'm just gonna do another row just below these so you guys can see how it looks when it's wet. What I'm doing here is I'm just gonna spray Gerard Cosmetics setting spray into the cap so I can get my brush wet. And let's see how they work wet. So dry row and wet row. To be honest, there's not a huge improvement, but it's a little bit better. I don't really feel like this eyeshadow palette lives up to its price. So sorry, but I can't recommend it. It's a no-go. It's a no-go for me. No-go.